everybody, and welcome to another video of Grim Dawn Forgotten Gods. So, as you can see, this is not an Ashes of Malmeth video update. We have a new expansion, everybody. So this was the news that we were waiting for so eagerly, and this is great news. I honestly was not expecting an entirely new expansion to come out. This is something that caught me off guard personally. I did have some predictions, and I was actually talking with Duck and some of the other guys, and I was thinking, hey, they're probably going to do something like update the end-game content. They're probably going to release something that we can do other than Crucible and doing just normal farm runs through the game and killing Nemesis bosses. So that was my main prediction, which, according to this, that is actually true. They're going to give us further information in the future, discussing a new game mode that they will be working on and releasing. So I think this is great for Grim Dawn. I think that Grim Dawn could really benefit from something like a greater rift system or maybe a map system like you would get in like Path of Exile or Diablo 3. I don't want it to be like an exact replica of those games, but just something that gives Grim Dawn more in-game content to do. So I think that's going to be a fantastic change. And honestly, from my personal experience, Crate does everything that they can to work with the community as opposed to working against the community. So that's really nice, and it's really hard to find in a gaming company nowadays. So I think it'll be a good thing. I think it'll be fantastic. Now, to get into basically what this expansion is going to be about and what it's going to be like. They've given us very little information, and they have told us that in the future they're going to release some new information, basically showing us what's going to occur in this expansion. So obviously it's going to be like a desert oasis type terrain area, and then they said there's also going to be some like rocky mountain, like lava, kind of like wasteland of like just magma and destruction. So there's going to be two of the primary landscapes that you're going to discover in this territory. Now, this new god was apparently not supposed to be stumbled upon or found at all whatsoever. In fact, what I found really interesting was that the three witch gods themselves actually tremble in fear and terror against this god. So for the three witch gods to be afraid of this god is kind of a big deal. If you don't know anything about the witch god lore, it's really interesting, and one of my favorite classes in the game is the occultist. And basically the occultist practices the arts of witchcraft, and for the longest time anybody who was of the occult or practiced the arts of witchcraft would be persecuted against and burned at the stake, hung, killed, what have you. It's not until like recently in the world of Cairn that the occultists have been a little more accepted, obviously for their ability to use poison and plague and disease. It's those types of things that they were very, very hated for. But obviously, with the world and how it is now, people are more accepting of them and their abilities to help kill the ethereals and the chthonics and all that stuff. So the witch gods are really pretty hearsay in the game right now. We don't really know much about them, in fact. So they're basically hidden from the world, and we are hoping to maybe one day see who and what they are. So one of my big predictions for this expansion is that you're most likely, if I had to guess, probably going to be helping the witch gods, probably doing quests for them, and we might actually get to finally see what the witch gods look like. And for some of us that may not be a big deal, but for me it's a huge deal. I would love to see that. I would love to see that in this expansion because the witch gods are very intriguing to me. They're really interesting, and if you read the lore on them, they're insanely interesting. I just love it. So just for example, like Dreeg, he's one of the witch gods, and they say that his image is of basically a giant creature that stands very tall. Used to be human, but you can tell it's obviously like an abomination at this point, but he stands very tall, has a bunch of spikes and bones protruding from his body. At the very end of these spines and spikes that stick out of his body, there's just a very vile, toxic liquid that secretes, and it just sears anything that it touches that he walks around. Kind of just decays and kills the earth around him wherever he treads, kind of thing, which is really interesting. And it even says things like, even looking at this god will more or less just kill you on sight. So it would be really cool to see what they're going to do with that, and then obviously you have Soleil and Bismiel, and they have their own things that are very fascinating about them. If you do the secret quest line in Grim Dawn to get the extra skill point, you actually get to see little statues kind of resembling what they look like. We don't really know if that's what they look like 100% for sure, but we do have basically kind of just a little bit of a glimpse at what they might look like, or possibly do 100% look like. And during that time, obviously you fight their guardians. You get to see some of the beasts and monsters and things that they have guarding their temples. And yeah, so they're a big part of the lore, very interesting, and I would like to see more of those characters in the game. So I'm going to read this little bit right here real quick. I don't want to make this too long, but you can see right here it says, along with quality of life features, you will pursue new powers, hundreds of new unique items, monster infrequents, and more. Battle dozens of new foes across new dungeons and a new gameplay mode, which we'll be discussing in detail in the coming months. In short, Forgotten Gods will be another thrilling, densely packed addition to the critically acclaimed Grim Dawn in its first expansion, Ashes of Malmeth. The best news of all, though, is that not only has work on this expansion already begun, it's well underway. We expect Forgotten Gods to be released in the second half of 2018. We are very excited to share more details of what's coming in the Forgotten Gods expansion, so be sure to stay tuned for future grim misadventures as we return to our regular bi-weekly update schedule. So, yeah, they're going to be updating this news, obviously, as it goes on. But as you can see right there, it's kind of briefly discussing what's going to be happening with this. Anyway, I just wanted to cover that real quick. I'll probably be doing, more updates on this as it comes out. And, if you guys haven't, come check out the stream. I appreciate all the support. And, yeah. So, in the comments below, let me know what you guys think. Give me your thoughts, what you might think is going to happen with the game, where it's going. And, yeah, let me know how excited you are. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you would like, that would really be awesome for me, and it helps me out. So, anyways, guys, as always, thank you for taking time to watch my content. Good news, Forgotten Gods. Everybody take care.